Welcome to 2020 and video number 3. I am back today to talk about one of my favorite subjects, dogs. Just kidding. I am going to be talking about a kind of dog today, but not the kind that you think. I want to talk today about underdogs. So why am I talking about this today? Well, I got an email earlier this afternoon that the judge has finalized my divorce, and I had a lot of mixed feelings. So naturally, I came and wrote a bunch of stuff out and decided to record a video. That's about how real this is going to get. So underdogs. The definition of an underdog is someone thought to have little chance of winning a fight. When all of this started and I moved out to California and I found out all that I did and was decided that we were going to be getting divorced, my first initial feeling, other than like sadness and loss and everything, was a lot of shame. Like I was embarrassed. I was afraid for anybody to know, and felt like everything was going to be terrible forever. First of all, that's not true. Second of all, it's frustrating that is the way that our society makes us feel, that everything is supposed to be perfect, that you're supposed to be happy, that you're, one, not even supposed to ever get a divorce, that two, like nothing's supposed to be wrong, and that you're supposed to just like get on through it. Well, the way that I've looked at all of this is I had to feel it all in order to heal from it. You gotta feel it to heal it, right? So I went and looked up some of the best comeback stories or the best known underdogs and their stories. Okay, so a few of the ones that I found I'm going to share with you today, and also I'm going to share some of the things that I have used in ways that I have really processed and am trying the hardest that I can to look on the bright side of things and have the most positive outlook that I can. Underdog number 1 is the author of, I'm sure, a lot of your also favorite books or movies, J.K. Rowling. If I said that wrong, don't make fun of me. Her mom died of MS. She had a miscarriage. She was a victim of domestic abuse and also got a divorce. What's that? My fellow divorcee. She became jobless. She was diagnosed with depression. And then she was rejected by 12 publishers before she finally had her success. Okay. Walt Disney. I'm sure a lot of you know his story. If you're like me, I got Disney Plus and watched the documentary on his whole life story and the building of Disneyland. It's very fascinating. But he was a person that dealt with failure. He dealt with bankruptcy. He dealt with rejection. He dealt with criticism. Okay, and now don't look at him now personally. We know, rest in peace, man. But, look at what he created, before he passed away and how his legacy has continued, right? Another one, Colonel Sanders of KFC, delicious. He started his business, I did not know this, at 65 years old. There is proof right there that it is never too late. Never too late, ladies and gentlemen. He was rejected 1,009 times. Over 1,000 times. And again, look at his success, right? Another one that I really love because she's been so incredible and she's so influential still to this day, Oprah, who was born poor. She had been molested. She got pregnant at 14 due to the molestation. She lost the baby after it was born in infancy. She was rejected. She was deemed unfit to be able to run a talk show or be in the spotlight. Right? So this is all, I look at these people and I'm like, okay, what are some of the characteristics of these people? Because they obviously dealt with things that we all deal with. Maybe not specifically, but things like rejection, like criticism, failure, miscarriages, okay, abuse, things that are so hard in the moment, but a lot of people don't like to talk about, right? Okay, divorce. It's hard. It's tough stuff. They're sensitive subjects. But what did these people do that helped them keep on, that helped them become the people that they are? Well, one, resiliency. They did not give up. They kept pushing through. That was something that I knew when everything first started. I was like, I know that I'm a strong person. I've been through a lot of other things in my life. I've had other traumas that I have dealt with before this situation, that I knew that I could make it through and had to keep going. That's the same with all of these underdogs and these people. And if you're somebody who has felt or dealt with any of these kinds of things, you got to know that you are capable of also having a comeback story as long as you keep going. Another way that I was reading about Oprah, and another thing she mentioned was having gratitude. And something that I started in the last couple months was writing, and I got a gratitude journal. I don't think I have it over here. I can't find it. There's so many things on this desk. I'm very grateful that you can't see it. But I started a gratitude journal. And every day I try and start my morning with writing 3 different things that I'm grateful for. In the middle, or when I first moved out to California and I was, I was in the thick of it, I made it a point to write 3 things that I was grateful for that were positive, and 3 things that were really hard that I was also positive, or that I was also grateful for. So that was hard, but it was trying to be grateful for even the tough stuff, and think, so that made my brain start rewiring in the sense of possibility and hope and the things that are lying ahead of me, that even though this is really, really hard and this is a loss and it is painful, that there is hope ahead of me. Okay. All of these underdogs had to have some sort of the same thought process, that they believed in themselves and they knew that they had the strength to move forward. For me personally, I find my strength in the Lord. I find my strength and plant my roots. Yeah. In my faith. That's what I give all credit to for helping me get through all of this stuff. That's where I get my strength from. But as a person, you have to, in general, be able to get your strength and pull your resiliency from somewhere deep down within, right? So, that was what I had to say about underdogs. Now, I'm going to move on and talk about other underdogs. I wasn't done. So, I also was thinking about ones that were in the Bible, right? Comeback stories in the Bible. Did you know all of his disciples, their jobs were considered like relatively, not lowly, but ones that you wouldn't think of. They weren't like super prestigious people. We had a fisherman, a thief, a zealot, which I had to Google what that meant, and it's apparently a very active politician, or someone who at the time wanted to overthrow the government, tax collector. And then you think about like Mary Magdalene, who at the time had been a prostitute. That's somebody who, isn't super holy. I can make a joke, I'm not going to. Moving forward. So also with David, who became King David, was a shepherd. He wasn't somebody at the time. Shepherds of that day and age were considered very unclean and weren't considered to be like of high, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But he was chosen by God to become the next king. He wasn't perfect after that. I mean, he was unfaithful. He also had somebody killed so he could be with their wife. He wasn't perfect, but that's the whole point, is that no one is perfect. We're not meant to be perfect, but it's all about us finding it within ourselves to keep moving forward, but keep trying to chase the light. Okay? That's chasing the light and trying to find that joy. For me, the light is Jesus. He, to me, is the light of the world. I believe he came to rescue and save. And when I think of light versus dark, or good versus evil, it's almost impossible not to also think of the Force versus the dark side. If you saw the new Star Wars or any of them, you know what I'm talking about. If you've never seen a Star Wars movie, get with the times. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, when I think of those kinds of words that are associated with the darkness or the enemy or the negativity, I think of words like anger, bitterness, hostility, hurt, brokenness, fear. It extinguishes whatever fire that you may have, okay? When I think of the light and the goodness, I think of joy, peace, celebration, happiness, right? Patience. Think of compassion, growth, and warmth. I go and think of like how wildflowers, this has been like one of my things that I focused on is wildflowers, how they grow in harsh conditions. And that's what makes them so unique is that, but one of the things that helps them grow is going to be light, right? So the final verse that I'm going to leave with you, again, I know that may have been a little all over the place, but I'm staying true to what I wanted to do, and that is to do one video from start to finish, and I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to say, hey, this is what it is. I wanted to share my heart with you. And the verse that I love very much is John 1:1-5. But a piece of that is, in him was life, and that life was the light of the world. And because of that life is in me, which allows me to have the hope for what lies ahead. Because he has done so much goodness, or he has done so much good, and will continue to do good. And if you're not a believer, then I just want to say, keep pushing forward, because you have a lot of good ahead of you as well. No matter what hurt that you're healing from, or whatever brokenness that you may have experienced, there are better days ahead, because I love an underdog. God loves an underdog. I think most people really love an underdog. So I'm rooting for you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And 11 minutes and 36 seconds. Kind of long, but I'm not going to apologize. Love you guys. Have a good day.